keep up the consistency. Yeah, to make sure that we have started well and just need to keep going now, because that's our challenge I've given the last few weeks.
Thanks, Luke. Good luck.
Thanks, Dan. As quarter two gets underway now, the handball out now to the loose at centre wing. Norwood with a bit of time and space, basing out down centre wing. A kick in towards half forward. Getting the tap there was Tobin there for South Croydon. Hams out now here to Anderson. He goes quickly and turned to Cox. Lost the footy, shaking the tackle. There was Feltham. His high up and under, but it's all South Croydon there at the back. And they'll bring this one back. And we've got a 25 on top of that there. It's going to Marshall. And early free kick here for the Bulldogs. Chips in short. Well, that one was off the ground, intended there for Matty Jones. Ball ends up in Norwood's hands. Jordan shakes a tackle, has to go back to go forwards now. In comes Newman. Kicks this one up towards centre half forward, but it's all South Croydon. The mark taken there by Liam Cox again. 2 possessions in about 30 seconds. Kicks one out towards the boundary line in short now. Finds his teammate wearing number 8 today, Josh Allison, listed as an emergency as well. Both O'Neill and Allison listed as emergencies in the side today. Here comes the kick in towards the centre of the ground on hands and knees. There was Birch, couldn't take the mark, but taken away now here by Carroll. He gets a hand pass out to his teammate there in Pearson. He couldn't take it either. Ball on the deck in dispute. King doing the roving now here for South Croydon. He kicks one in towards full forward into the goal square. Doing the fisting at the back there was Hill, and couldn't force it over the line into the hands there. Rosier, got one high maybe, as Wright took him down high. We've got a free kick. It might be that way. As Rosier looked like he got the collar. As we have a look at the replay. Yeah, hands over the shoulder there.
Yeah, that is high from Wright.
But ball up, says the umpire. Right in the goal square now here for South Croydon. It's loose on the deck, and well, knocking that one over the line there was Stewie Hill. And just the one to score there, conceded. South Croydon now, their first minor of the game. 4-1-25, they lead Norwood. 1-4-10, 2 minutes played, second quarter.
So Matty Ava brings the ball back in for Norwood. Goes to half-back. Johnson did well. Bustled his opponent out of the contest. Slick underground handball then. The kick up towards the wing was intended for Calder. Calder gets it out to Gibson. Handball from Gibson was ill-directed and was intercepted. Mark dropped then by Allison. Goes in hard again. It was shot out to Anderson. Anderson tried to get it to Cass. Cass now is usually a lovely user of the footy. Got it to King. Max King's kick, not his best effort. Chance here for Rosier. Throws it on the boot around the corner. And gee, made that look easy then, Patrick Rosier. He didn't have a lot of time to steady, but he never panicked and put through his third goal. 3 goals on the board for him, and South Croydon 5-1-31. Norwood 1 goal for 10.
Well, Norwood tried to get out of defence in a different manner there. They went long down the line to Johnson, who did so well, but he didn't have any support there. He didn't have any runners coming off him. I know he didn't take the mark, but he had to go an underground handball back 5 metres to a man under pressure. South Croydon, again, if we're drawing comparisons, they'll get a mark from Birch or someone like that, and there'll be runners running past. And Norwood just need to get some more run out of their half-back line.
So, just a shade over 3 minutes gone. South Croydon firmly in command here. 21 points the diff here in this second term. King into the ruck against Narbergs. Neither wins the tap there. Hand pass out now there by Busito. Out now here to Hudson down the centre wing. Just goes check side. Nice kick there in towards Wright. Told to play on. No, gets one back and kicks it in towards the half forward line. Flying it up the top there. Unable to take it was Chrysoratis. And, well, Croydon end up with a footy in their own back pocket. And, well, that was a poor kick, intercepted there by Feltham, right on the 50. Feltham pumps one in towards the direction of Williams. Double teamed, almost took a one-handed. It's loose, straight off the ground and into the post goes Jamie Bennell for Norwood. And that seems to be the story of the day in terms of their scoring. 1-5-11, they trail by 20 points. South Croydon 5-1-31, 4 minutes gone.
Yeah, missed opportunity that time as Tobin brings the ball back in, long down the middle. Carried over the head of Rosier. Birch takes possession. Birch's kick. Hill worked his way back to affect the contest. Stuart Hill gets a good result on that occasion over the boundary line for a throw-in. 20 points the deficit. South Croydon 5-1, Norwood 1-5. So that's the difference between the two sides. They both had six scoring shots, but it's a 20-point lead to South Croydon. And they're converting their opportunities, particularly Patrick Rosier, 3 goals on the board for him. making the most of every chance. Umpire throws it in. Well played then by Pearson. His kick carried over the head of Ava. Jones hunts down the footy, can't keep it in play, and a boundary throw in. Scoreboard side of Cheong Park. Let's cross to Barry Cotts at the score centre.
All right, 2 Division 1 scores. Bourne 2-2-14, Doncaster 3 behind 3 points. Ringwood 3-1-19, trailing Blackburn 5-3-33. Ringwood 1-3-9 to Roval 4 behind 4 points, and Noble Park 3-3-21 to Montrose 2-1-13.
5.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. King launches it forward. Hill competed well against Tucker that time. Came off hands though to Mallison. I think he's kicked the goal. That is the perfect Crummers goal. Robbie Mallison, front and centre to the pack, sharked it beautifully, and then put it through with a fair bit of ease. That's what you have your small forwards in the team for. And South Croydon get their 6th goal on the board, 6-1-37. Norwood 1-5-11 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, I think the key word there, Brad, was ease. You said it there with how the way Mallison put it through the big ones, but I think the ease that South Croydon got it from the boundary throw in on left half back, and through a tap down from Max King, Daniel King, one long kick, and before you know it, it's through the big ones. They're just doing it very, very easy at the moment. David Johnson's gone into the middle as well, though, for Norwood.
It's a quick score update from Barry.
Yeah, Division 2, Bayswater 4-3-27, Royal Bark 2-1-13, Doncaster East 3-3-21, leading Croydon 2-1-13.
Thanks, Barry, as we'll have another ball up in the centre of the ground. 6.5 gone here out here at Cheong Park. South Croydon firmly in control of this game. Anderson couldn't win the crumbs. Bursting through there was Blease. Quick handball out, and away come the Norseman here through Narbergs. Chris Aratis, his kick now in towards the 50. And, well, that was wrapped up there by South Croydon. And we'll have a ball up here on the 50. 7 minutes gone. As in comes the ball up. It's loose on the deck. Hudson's in there, tackled by Walker, as is Anderson. And bursting out with a footy. Well, there was it was Allison. A kick now in towards centre wing, in towards Birch, sliding on his knees, out of bounds on the full. Couldn't keep it the right side of the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw it. A free kick, excuse me. Far side of the ground. Here for Norwood. The kick now in towards the direction of Narbergs in the centre of the ground. Takes a pretty comfortable mark. He's about 75 from home. Not much on offer, so swings it round to the centre of the ground and finds his teammate there in Sam Blease. Plays on quickly, got 2 Croydon players to beat. His handball there to Calder was a dangerous one as it ends up on the deck after the aftermath of the tackle. Hands out now, here's King. Some good handballs now here from South Croydon. Going in hard there was Pearson, did well to win that. Hudson's in there as well, nearly won the ball off the ground. And Chris Aratis, nice handball out, finds his teammate there in Basido. His kick now finds Pearson, only got it on the second grab. Narbergs overran the ball, and then it comes out now through centre. Mallison's kick, last goal scorer, finds his teammate here in Jones. Jones takes a bounce, runs inside 50, puts one on goal, and he's kicked it. That's a contender for goal of the day there from the Bulldogs. That's their 7th of the afternoon. They lead 7-1-43, Norwood 1-5-11, 8.5 gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, second term.
Oh, and it's just the story of the day. Narbergs has got the mark from the chip in from the free kick for out the full. He's taken an eternity to get back off the mark. Doesn't go inside forward 50, chips it wider still. By then, South Croydon have got all the numbers back. They've set up. Norwood skirt around the perimeter. A dangerous ball in the middle with a handball from Blease over the top. Manic pressure from the South Croydon from the midfield, and their goal up the other end. Norwood have to move it quicker.
Let's go to a quick score update from Barry Cotts.
Yeah, Division 3 scores be 6-3-39, leading Waverley, no score. Churnside Park trailing Baronia. Baronia 7-4-46. Churnside Park 2 behind 2 points.
Well, 32 points the margin here, the way of South Croydon. Handball came out to Gibson. Gibson boots it forward. Carries over the head there of Bennell, who hasn't been able to feature much in this first half. Cass got it short. Short pass now on to King. Dan King at half back. He goes short and he's found a teammate there on the wing. Boots it forward, not a great kick, and it should have been marked then. It was marked by Cruceratis, had front position. So Jaden Cruceratis.
Look at this again. Look how long it's taking to move this on, Brad.
Yeah, very static at the moment, the Norsemen. They're Williams, who hasn't been seen for quite some time. He's got the free kick. Lee Williams goes short. Ball spilled off hands. Anderson got a high one from Johnson. He was made to earn it then. The umpire paid the free, and then it was like Johnson thought, well, I've already given it away. I'll really make him earn it now. And maybe just a bit of frustration as well, boiling over. So free kick to Anderson. Goes laterally to Marshall. Neat kick by Marshall. Up towards half-back. Kick by Tobin that time to the wing. Good strong mark taken by Birch just inside the field of play against Ava. Alex Birch's long kick, not his best. Stewart really should have marked that. He was camped under the footy for a long time. The kick by King. I think that was King who's kicked it.
And doesn't he love it?
The zippy one has kicked a great goal. Michael King, that is what he does best. He can kick them from anywhere, and he loves those ones along the ground. Now South Croydon 8-1-49 to Norwood 1-5-11 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Let's go to Barry Cotts for a score update.
Yeah, to Division 4, and it's Forest Hill 4 goals straight 24 to Coldstream 139. Surrey Park 4-6-30 to Glen Waverley Hawks 3 behind 3 points.
Thanks, Barry. Well, there goes my Division 4 tips for this week. As 8-1-49 plays 1-5-11 out here at Chong Park. 11 minutes gone here in the second term. Bulldogs really are making Norwood pay right now. Here comes the kick in towards centre half forward for South Croydon. Hands out now. Jones got tackled hard, got a hand pass away. Unable to win the footy, but back it comes now here to Mallison. His kick was smothered, and a kick now in turn there by Bennell. Out towards a vacant centre wing, and all it is there is Marshall for South Croydon. His hands up now here to Walker. He kicks this one up towards centre half forward now here for South Croydon. Going back with a flight, unable to take it. King tries to do the roving. In comes, oh, what a... And that's straight through the middle there from Daniel Cooper. Touched, me. Okay, yep. Field umpire says that was touched, as did Matt Fodia, so I'm going to go with that. 2 out of 3. And, well, just the minor score there for the Bulldogs. 8-50. They lead Norwood 1-5-11. Let's go to Barry Cotts for another score update.
Yeah, Division 2 with 3 goals. Doncaster East lead 40-13. 6-minute mark, second quarter.
Well, it's, well... I'm sure BWS is enjoying that one.
He got to choose his around the ground, Steve. Where do you reckon he went?
Exactly right. As the mark taken now here by Jamie Bennell. Handball's off now to his teammate there in right. He got a hand pass out before he was dealt with. Handball over the top. Chris Aradas tackled there by Donnell. And a kick out now here by Norwood as they manage to get out. Williams seems to be moving very gingerly as we'll cross boundary side in a second. Hand pass out now there by Stewart. Norwood trying to clear their back line. They do through now Bucito. And now in towards the forward 50. And a good mark taken there by Jake Constantino. And he's going to line up from about 45 out. And directly in front, Riley Constantino, excuse me. Get it, and let's go to Matt Fodia.
Dan Sensic.
Dan Sensic.
Yeah, thanks, mates. Jason Pongrasic's just gone back onto the ground, of course, after that yellow card earlier, and Matt Jones has just been helped off the ground, collected in a contest at half forward there, and straight up to the club rooms.
Thanks, Dan. There's a kick from Constantino straight through the middle, and that's a goal Norwood sorely needed. They are now 2-5-17, South Croydon 8-2-50, 13 and a half gone here, second term Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They still tried to make a meal of it though, didn't they? When Bernal was breaking down the wing, I thought here's our chance for Williams to get a one-on-one, and they still almost butchered it, but some good vision from Bucetto into Gibson, and he lowered the eyes, so he's done better, but that was their best piece of play for a long time, Nord, and they still almost made a meal of it.
Yeah, can they get a couple in a row? That's what they need. They need to just string some good footy together over a period of 10 minutes or so and work their way back into this contest. Quick kick there by Rosier. Bounces there in front of Birch. Ava does well, competes really well against him, and taking possession then was Strawn straight over the boundary line. So a throw in on the outer side, scoreboard side of Cheong Park, the Bayswater Road side of the ground. 33-point lead to South Croydon. Tucker knocked it down. Quick kick forward. Plenty of Norwood defenders back there. It's a loose footy at the moment. Stuart Hill hunts it down and takes it over the boundary line. So somewhat of a lull in proceedings. The throng are fairly quiet just at the moment on the hill in front of the social club. Umpire throws it back into play. King won the tap down. Quick kick, but it was intercepted there by Tucker. Don't think it was paid though. May have been touched off the boot. Tucker's kick. Wheels around and boots to a big pack of players. And Cooper there unable to keep the ball in play. So Norwood, I think they've lifted their effort, lifted their intensity. As a result, at the moment, it's a bit of a stalemate because they've just managed to negate the run and carry that South Croydon had. And so at the moment, it's a stoppage-based game for the last few minutes. Hudson there, got it out to Wright. Wright's little handball was effective. Got it to Lane and then to Bassetto. This is Hudson under pressure. Had a teammate close by in Hill. Little clever tap by Cruceratus to Lane. Lane's kicks a good one. And this is a great build-up from the Norseman. Calder on his own, inside 50, takes the mark. Wheels around, sits the kick up for Williams. And he hung it in the air for a long time then, but Williams' hands were good enough to take the mark. And now a 25-metre penalty as well, paid against James Crowell. It's crossed down to Dan on the boundary.
Yeah, watching that contest from close up, very stiff there to be paid the 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there, Dan. I thought that was a bit soft. Williams played for it. But again, that's the best part of Norwood all day. They got it quickly off half-back. Bussetto got a quick handball off, and there was scrappy initially, but they got it straight down there quickly. Williams gets a one-on-one.
Yeah, and Williams there not waiting for the player to be set on the mark. He just raced in, kicked the goal. Wasn't asked to kick over the man on the mark, as they sometimes are. So he's got his first of the day, Lee Williams, and South Croydon, Norwood now trailed by 27 points.
So Norwood, that's 2 goals on the trot so far this quarter. It's the first of the game in terms of consecutives. There's that one juggled there by Hudson. He's met by 3 South Croydon players in the centre of the ground. And we'll have a ball up to go to Barry Cotts.
Yeah, Division 2 and Lilydale 1 turn to South. Lilydale 4-3-27, leading 1 turn to South 3-5-23.
Thanks, Barry. In comes the ball up. It's knocked down, bursting through is Cruceratus. Wright got a handball out over the top. It goes back to Wright after a tackle. Free kick paid for a high tackle, and away come Norwood through the centre of the ground. By hands now, ends up with Stewart. He goes back now here to Cruceratus. Got a quick kick. It was touched and bursting through the pack now. Here is Blees. He puts one on goal, and Norwood have got their fourth touched again. Well, the early celebrations.
Crowell got a touch on that.
So just the minor score there for Norwood would have been there. 4-3-6-24 trailing South Croydon 8-2-50. Well, they're going to get a crack at a major here, as that kick out was a poor one and ends right up in the hands of Williams. That was drawn there, and well, they could quite clearly get their 4th of the afternoon if Williams kicks truly. He's in about a 10-degree angle, about 30 out. In comes the kick, and this time they make no mistakes. That's his 2nd goal of the afternoon, and Norwood's 4th. They are now 4-6-30, trailing 20 points of South Croydon 8-2-50, 18 minutes gone, 2nd term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, Glenn Strawn's had a bit of a mare so far kicking out. We had the dubious ball up down the other end, which we're not quite sure about, and then that one there, a short chip ball straight into the big mitts of Lee Williams. It's better from Norwood. They're taking the game on. A great run off half-back by Nelson Lane through the middle. It wasn't the cleanest possession, but he burst the lines. He made something happen. He's been really impressive off half-back lately.
Let's go to Barry for a quick score update.
Yeah, Division 1, Blackburn 8-4-52, lead North Ringwood 4-1-25, and Bourne 23, lead Doncaster 4 behinds.
Yeah, I reckon, Matt, Nelson Lane's one of the few guys for Norwood who's really played with a bit of flair today. He's sort of just backed his instincts rather than being too staid, I guess, in his approach. So it's been good to see.
Needs a couple of mates.
He does indeed. This is Birch for South Croydon, who's been very impressive this afternoon. Member of that premiership team last year. Alex Birch's kick, lovely pass. Got it to Pongracic. He's kicked to the pocket, carried over the head of Tucker. And Stuart Hill doing a good job on Jake Tucker in this quarter. Tucker hasn't really been able to see too much of the footy. Stuart Hill always right alongside him. So 20-point lead for South Croydon. Certainly a better performance in the last 10 minutes from Norwood. Came off hands then. Strong tackle applied by Hudson. And a lot of players camped around the footy there. So it will be a ball up. Wouldn't be surprised to see the old intentional sort of rush behind from the ruck contest here. You think Norwood might try and force it through and just reset. Lane there takes possession, but was immediately wrapped up. But he's been in everything, Nelson Lane, in this quarter. So Narberg's against Tucker. Tucker got a hand to it first. And it's a real stalemate in the goal square there. There's so many players around the football that nobody can even think about breaking clear.
Dylan Marshall's the only player in the defensive half for South Croydon. Lee Williams is right up the ground. He's at centre half back at the moment.
Quick kick came out to Williams. Fortuitously landed in his hands, and his hands, as always, were so good that he took the mark. Hill goes short to Bennell. Jamie Bennell.
Who's better?
Neat pass to Carroll. Carroll got it to Williams. Williams tried to bounce off Cox that time, but that was a disappointing turnover from Lee Williams. Cox got it to Mallison, who's really only had 1 or 2 kicks, but he did kick a goal in this game so far. That was a good pass. And that is a great kick for goal for South Croydon. Launching from about 50 metres out and putting it through was Tobin. Good footy from Pongracic it was for the Bulldogs. So great goal again for South Croydon. Just steadies the tide a bit because Norwood were coming back into the game.
And that'll hurt Norwood because that was, again, they're starting to get a bit more pace in their game. Williams has pushed up the ground more to give them an outlet. He gave it off quickly. Bennell running through the middle. Williams just bit off a bit more than he could chew. But if he gets through Cox there, he probably puts through another one. And South Croydon, they've showed their class all day. They've made turnovers count.
So 9:2:56, South Croydon leading Norwood 4:6:30 with 2 minutes into time added on, and Anderson lays a pretty heavy bump there off the bounce. Dinnell there in there for South. Bennell gets wrapped up there by Dinnell, and the battle of the Suffixes ends in a stalemate. We'll have a ball up in the edge of the centre square here. The Bulldogs leading by 26 points. King wins the ruck there against Narbergs. Getting a hand out there was the other King, as that one now sent up by O'Neill. The kick out towards half-back flank. Here's Rosier's kick now in towards full forward, and a good mark taken there by Stewie Hill. And he'll go back inside his own 50. Looks for options upfield. Got Gibson in short if he wants him. But decides to go further than that now towards the half-forward flank in the direction of Narbergs. Almost took the mark. Ball stays on the right side of the boundary line. Well, it did temporarily anyway, as Maxi King forced it over the white line. We'll have a boundary throw in front of the South Croydon faithful. Only 23 minutes gone here in this second term. Out here at Cheong Park, if you're listening on at Radio Eastern 98.1 or streaming around the globe on EFL.org.au. Narbergs into the ruck against King. Been a pretty tight battle, actually. I'd say one of the tighter battles on the park at the moment. Anderson got one up, almost got decapitated there on centre wing, and he gets a free kick rightfully. And he goes back and assesses his options here for the Bulldogs. Kicks this one up in towards the half-forward line. Plenty of players there fisting that one over the boundary line. There was Gibson. And we'll have a boundary thrown on the 50 here for South Croydon.
Just look at the setup from the Dogs defensively here. Liam Cox is just sitting right in the middle of all the Norwood forwards here as the loose man. And they're just all setting up beautifully. It's a great structure at the moment.
So nearly 24 minutes gone. 26 points to the margin here in favour of South Croydon. As in comes the boundary throw. Narbergs and King's duel again. King wins that one. Doing the roving here is Cooper. Cooper snaps off the boot in towards the goal square, but taken there pretty quickly by Johnson. And, well, thought about playing on. He's going to be told to in a second. He is indeed now as he comes out of the back pocket. Boots this one long up in the direction of Williams. 2 players on him. One of them's Walker, wins the spoil. Doing the roving there is Anderson. He kicks one in towards full forward. It's a congested pack crashing in through the side. There was Johnson. Couldn't take the mark. Norwood, the handball's intercepted here by Cass. He puts one on goal, and I think he's hit the post again. That's the 3rd time the Bulldogs have hit the post this afternoon, and I think Norwood's done it at least once. So that is 9:3:57 South Croydon. They lead Norwood 4:6:30, 25 minutes gone here, second term.
So Matty Ava to bring the ball back in for Norwood. Takes his full allotment of time. The umpire blows the whistle and tells him to move it on as he does up towards half back. Stewart was the target. Slick handball was clever to Allison. Came off hands. There's the kick. Has it drifted across the face of goal and marked in the pocket by Michael King. And you'd back him in to kick it. He doesn't waste any time. He barely even has a look at the goals. Wheels around, but the umpire says no, he's going to have to, time had been blown off, so he'll have to take his kick again. I think it went through for a goal.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, so
That usually gets let go in the AFL.
I can't really see why it shouldn't be let go. Why does he have to wait till...
Well, Zippy just needs a bigger profile, Brad.
I don't see any reason why he should be made to wait there.
I'm backing him anyway. He does this at training. I don't think he even joins in training. Zippy just does this.
You'd certainly back it. You would back him to
120 minutes.
He'll find a way, you would think. And not only does he kick the goal, but he makes it look very, very easy. And Michael King has his second on the board. South Croydon 10-3, 63 to Norwood 4-6-30.
And they're just doing some of their undoing some of their good work here, Norwood. They fought really, really hard to get back in the game. They got Williams involved in the game and getting some influence on it. And they've just let the Dogs get 2 or 3 quick ones on the back end of this second quarter, heading into half time. And after all that effort to get back in the game, the Dogs will still go in 5-6 goals up.
So 33-point game out here at Cheong Park now, with approaching half time. 27 minutes played. In comes the ball up. King into the ruck now. Stewart has moved into the ruck now here for Norwood. They win the track. Here's Jordan's kick. It's a high up and under in towards the half forward flank. Cox dueling there, got a hand to it. It's picked up near here by Bacito, and off comes to Walker. His kick was a bit of a mongrel. Might beat both players over the boundary line, that being Cooper and Johnson. And that's out over the boundary line for a boundary throw. And speaking of boundary riding, let's go down to Dan Tensick.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Matt Jones done for the day, unfortunately. He's got the ice taped around the knee, so we won't see him at all. Let's hope it's not too serious.
So South Croydon sands Matt Jones for the rest of the afternoon. Here comes the boundary throw in on the far side of the ground. It's one down there by Stewart, waiting to the waiting hands there of O'Neill. His kick round the body, looking for King. Does the roving, got Pearson to beat. Still got it, it's back to King. He could go all the way, and no, well, he travelled a good 30 metres there, paddling the ball with Pearson right on his tailgate, but just the minor score in the end, and that's 10-4, 64 South Croydon leading Norwood 4-6-30, 27 and a half gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Hill brings the ball back in for Norwood. Looks for Stewart. Great mark by Anderson. Launched himself and against a much taller opponent. Dragged down the mark. Good one grabber that time. Got it to O'Neill. Tobin got the little handball out. The kick comes forward. And that was great footy from the Bulldogs. The mark taken safely there by Pongracic, I think that is for the... No, it is the zippy one, in fact, again. Michael King. So, how's it? What's he like at kicking the conventional ones?
I don't know. He might have to run around here or do something funky, Big Zip.
We know he can kick the freakish. He loves the goal, and he's got 3 goals for the quarter, hitting a real purple patch. Michael King, 3 goals in this term for him. And South Croydon stretched their lead further on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, there was just no pressure from Norwood there. Anderson's pulled down an absolute hanger, which can happen. You can't blame anyone for that. It's a good long kick out of defence. Short ball in the middle. Walker's able to handball it over the top of the man of the mark, who then steps inside. They're just toying with him at the moment. And like I said, Norwood have shown some fight for about 5 minutes this quarter, but other than that, South Croydon have just run all over the top of them.
It looks like Norwood was sort of playing for the siren here in the last 2-3 minutes. No real intensity, particularly on that last...
It's been 4 goals in red time, hasn't it? Or something like that, which really, really hurts you.
So approaching half-time, 29 minutes played here, second term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard now a 40-point lead to South Croydon. In comes the ball up as Stewart wins that, but straight out goes Pongracic in towards full forward. It's just short there of Tucker. It's done doing the rowing here. Now is Cooper. He slews one to the right. And just the minor score, well, that was a little too easy out of the centre there for South Croydon. 11-5-71 now, 4-6-30 in Norwood. Approaching half-time. And we'll have all the scores from around the EFL with Barry Cotts at half-time. But here comes the kick back in. And that's over the head of everyone. And just looks like it's going to be out on the full. And to take it now, it's going to be Glenn Strawn. It's about 60 from home on the far side of the ground. He pumps it in towards a congested forward line. Going up with the flight there was Tucker, but it was punched over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
It would not surprise me at all here if someone kicks a very, very easy goal for South Croydon, because Norwood, like you said, Steve, are just looking towards that clock and hoping that siren sounds.
And we've approached over 30 minutes played now here in quarter number 2. Stewart v Tucker in the ruck. Stewart did well to win that one down. Trying to burst through there was Cooper, as was Rosier. He's tackled pretty solidly there by Stewart, and we'll have another ball up. So we're about 20 metres out directly in front here of the South Croydon goal. Tucker wins the tap down. Norwood burst this one out there for Bennell. It falls out here to Calder. Couldn't hold it. Anderson in a one-on-one battle with him. Anderson tries to go off the ground. Narberg's in there as well for Norwood. Loose footy. And, well, doing pretty well there for South Croydon. Sorry, it was Carroll there for and Calder for Norwood, but no progress made. Ball up near side of the ground, half forward flank. 31 minutes played here. 41 points the score. The margin, excuse me.
Long quarter.
Exactly. It's a kick around the body, picked up by Anderson, tackled as he kicked it. It was a grubber of a kick, and well, that was just barely 15. Turning around there is Pongracic. He puts one in towards full forward, and well, that was spoiled at the back. And we've got a free kick though out of that, and I believe it's going the way of Norwood. Looks like Stewie Hill there was pushed off the contest there by Tucker, and well, approaching nearly 32 minutes played here. As Hill's kick back in over the far side of the ground, straight back to Glenn Strawn. And, well, it's South Croydon firmly in control. Good spoil there from Pearson. Oh, it's a loose footy, though. Straight into the goal square. Walks Mallison, and it's touched off the boot. Well, that could have been goal number 12. Instead, it's behind number 6 there for South Croydon. 11-6-72. Norwood 4-6-30. 32 minutes played.
Ava to bring the ball back in for Norwood. Comes out to this social club side of the ground. King there working hard in that contest and over the boundary line once more. And Mallison there almost kicking his second goal. I tell you what, him and Michael King, when the ball's on the deck in that Bulldogs forward line,
and Rosier,
they look so dangerous. Rosier as well. He's got 3 goals today. King's got 3 and Mallison just the 1, but they all look so dangerous when the ball's in the area. That was Jordan who hacked it out of midair. Looking for Feltham. Feltham was pushed off it by Marshall. Marshall socketed along the ground.
Oh, he's got it back.
That was clever. Marshall gave it to Rosier for goal number 4. And the ball just drifts across the face of goal, and it's marked on the last line of defence there by Pearson. Pearson very short to Lane, who's been one of Norwood's better players in the first half, but it's been a disappointing